So hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies, gents, and I've just started my record just as someone's actually went off track. So I've had a bit of technical issues tonight trying to get the stream up and running for us to broadcast our season 2 opener here at the Pure Sim Racing Year Season 2, Round 1 at Oulton Park. So I'm just recording it on my own YouTube, then I'll post it up so that everyone can watch it back. Unfortunately, we're halfway through the race. It's just been such a nightmare, but deepest apologies. We had a late minute pull out regarding our normal comms guy, so I've stepped in, and unfortunately this is the best we can do, guys. So I'll try and bring you up to speed as to where we are. We had a 37 car grid to start with. We're now down to 35, whether that's been technical issues or whatnot. But right now we have Tadima sitting in first place, and right on his tail is Keddy, as always. He's usually up there in our kind of top 3 to 5 places every single race. Just relentless. One of our kind of elite aliens, as they say, for FRL. So he's currently in second place, being chased down by Camera. He's in a BMW as well, so it's a BMW, Lamborghini BMW sandwich in the top 3 spots. And I love to see the beautiful Porsche doing so well. So we've got Wilhelm, he's currently in 4th place. I'll always root for a Porsche over and above any other car. It's my love. It's, I just can't see past this car. But we'll move on to the guy that's sitting in 5th place, who's Lane Wheeler. He's just a constant producer of fast laps, consistency. It looks like, however, his car's got slight damage on the front bonnet there, but that might have been an incident that happened within the first 20 odd minutes that we missed. Apologies again. And then we've got Nishira coming up in 6th. DL Poblito, again, beautiful Porsche, nice colours, it's very striking. See that in your rear mirror, you start bricking it, as they say. We've got ZB Roja, or Z Broja, sorry, apologies, in 7th, 8th. Casatarash in 9th, and Zakaski in 10th, so that rounds off our top 10. Oulton Park is an extremely technical, very bumpy, up and down, like, it's very unforgiving. It's an extremely technical, very difficult track, so the guys will be doing their best to keep the cars on track as it is. Then you add 35 plus cars to the mix, and it just becomes an absolute mental cycle fest. So I'll try and keep up with the action as best I can, guys. Some of these BMWs that are coming into play, look at that, that's absolutely gorgeous. C Martin, it's just breathtaking, some of the kind of liveries that you can see that some of these guys are dragging in. So we've got a few spots kind of muddled about, moving about as we're talking. I think Karmer and Wilhelm have had a bit of a kind of a tiz. They've fell back slightly. Petrovic's, the Mercedes, is very brave coming on here in the Mercedes. It's an extremely volatile car in itself. The car just is so back end happy. But if you can tame it, then it's definitely a car that, if you can tame it, it's going to be up there and put in a good fight. Brett Smith in 15th, driving a nice beautiful orange Beamer. Oh, here we go. Myers Weisenhoff, or Weidenhoff. He's in a Macca, car number 800. Danix in a Ferrari, first Ferrari, second Ferrari I've come across. Mr. Stevenson himself. He's actually one of the newest guys to join FRL PC admin side. He's an alien, he's fast, he's consistent, he's pitted by the looks of it, so that's perhaps why he is a little bit further down on the track. Looks like we've had pits across the board, to be fair. So we've only got a few cars that are left out there, a couple of back runners, James himself, we'll come to him in a second. The Haney in a Lamborghini, he's also brave coming on here in the Lamborghini. It's an extremely technical track, like I've mentioned. We've got Heath, Blanchetti, Oz. I was doing some laps myself. I was getting into the 37s, so I was possibly creating a little bit of a hindrance with some of these faster guys earlier on, so I've had to quit my race and quickly jump in and do comms for tonight because a guy pulled out. But that's all good. I was kind of running at the back of the track, so was that a little bit of an incident we've just caught on camera there. Oh, someone's had a drive-through as well, which that won't bode well for Camera. That's obviously from track limits. And then we get to Checker, or Ian Thompson. He's currently kind of trying to keep that Beamer at bay on track. He was having a bit of an issue earlier on during the kind of free practice and qualifying session. But it looks like he's maybe now got it dialed in, and it's just up to him now to start pressing the guys in front. Suresh is currently in the Lexus, and then we've got our steward of all stewards, Mr. Steward himself, Derek Bruff. He's driving the Aston Martin and the FRL livery. Such a beautiful car, such a well balanced car. Apparently you can literally step in it, put it on aggressive setting, and away you go. Retro Vega, he's kind of starting to get into the kind of back runners now. We've got T Williams. Wonder if that's anything to do with James, if it's maybe some kind of long lost relative that he's kind of drafted in. Again, he's in the Aston Martin. Kudasov, he's in the only Audi on the track as far as I can see. And then we've got three Macas at the back. Esvan, Kuhn. I tend to race with these guys in the back of the track whenever I take part in these events. So James himself is currently in the pits. He's it looks like he's perhaps gave up the race. He's now 5 laps down. And again we've got Tugbert of Pademshi, he's also gave up as well. So we're now down to 34 cars with 2 retirees, so we're 32 cars out on track. So let's see what we can see. So that's a wee introduction as to who's taking part in the race. Is Camera, is he going to pop into the pits and get rid of this drive-through, or is he going to hold on for another lap again? He's got one more lap, so he needs to go in this lap. We'll have a wee look at that. If he doesn't go in this lap, unfortunately you get disqualified, so he's maybe taking a little bit of a chance staying out on track, but at the same token he's perhaps trying to secure some kind of position as well. A lot of these guys, their strategies, they'll have a strategy set in place for this kind of thing when a drive-through does happen. Now Oulton Park's pit lane itself isn't the longest, so you're maybe in and back out again in about maybe 28 seconds or something, maybe less than that. So he could be literally pushing and pushing and pushing, so that when he does go in, he comes out and he's still got a fighting chance to kind of finish mid-pack. But he's fast enough to kind of fight it back. He's currently sitting in 12th place, which bodes well, especially on a grid that had 37 cars to start with. So we're currently on board just now with C. Martin. Let's go and see and have a look and see what this looks like from his perspective. Have a wee look at the steering wheel. There we go. Just coming onto the home straight. this corner's correct. Right, so he's just going round Shell Oil's corner here, and then he's going to come in into Filston's, which is a very, very fast chicane where you go left and right, either first or second gear, and then floor it and ride both those curves to the exit. And then we're coming down the track here. Now this used to be, it's Knickerbrook chicane, and then into Clay Hill and under the footbridge. Yep, there. He's come round to Druid's corner. Now this is one of the most difficult corners on the track. You've got to keep yourself left, touch on the brakes, feed on the throttle, and then floor it as you come around onto the Lodge corner, and then into the Elite straight. That corner itself, as long as you're down in second gear, it gives you a really, really good stick. Zucchetti up his left hand side. Nope, he's going to go for the switchback. Let's see what Zucchetti's got to say about this. He's holding his position on the outside here. This is a... Oh! I wonder what happened there. I wonder if Chris Martin himself cut across his path, or if Zucchetti actually drifted over towards him. I couldn't quite see there. Let's see what Ian's doing. He's currently got a gaggle of cars behind him, but he'll be holding them at bay as best as possible, defending his corners. He's got a slight bit of damage, and it looked like we had Retrovega showing his nose there for Checa. We've got another car who has a drive-through. Again, I wonder if that's for track limits or speed limit pits. Checa is defending that position like nothing else. And we're making that BMW as wide as it possibly can through the tight chicane. Down the hilltop. See if he holds the car in the middle of the track. He's making that car as wide as he possibly can, and it's working really well. So if he gets a good exit here at Knickerbrook, he can then floor it and go under the footbridge. Now is he going to have? Is he affording some space here? Oh, that's a touch. These guys are being as aggressive as possible, but Ian's holding his position. He's doing really well to do it. And round Druid's corner with a car that close to you, you just hold your breath, hold onto your steering wheel, and hope for the best. There we are. Another wee touch. So there's a lot of door banging going on here with these two. But Ian's holding his position as best as he possibly can. And again, we've got Retrovega showing his nose, and he might try and force that error on Ian, but Ian will hold his line. Retrovega's fallen back. We've then got a Ferrari trying to get in the mix as well. But Ian's holding his 26th position. He's doing really well indeed. So we'll get Danix. He'll be trying to get by Ian. Ian's going to do the professional thing and get out of his road. That's great. But the other cars won't be able to take advantage of that, because what Ian will do is he'll step on the gas and make sure that he doesn't afford any place at all for anyone to get that back. That's really well done there. It looks like there's maybe been a little bit of an altercation behind Ian with Retrovega, but as it stands, Ian managed to give that position back to Danix, which was very nice of him, and as tight as that was, he still held on to his 26th spot, 25th spot. So if we go ahead and have a look and see if there's any other battles ensuing, so we've got quite a lot happening back here at the front of the pack. Yep, so we've got DLP Polito. He's pushing as hard as he possibly can. He's currently in 5th place. He's chasing Keddy down, who's literally 1.4 seconds ahead of him. And I wonder what he's going to be able to do with that. We'll have a wee look and see. Going to be pushing that Porsche to its absolute limits. The car is an extremely well balanced car if you can get it set up right. However, coming up against an elite alien like Keddy, doesn't matter what you do, Keddy will keep that car glued to the floor, rooted to the corners. He'll defend it like there's nothing else left on earth to do but defend your corner. He'll have to make a mistake, I think, for Polito to even gain any seconds on him or get past him. Obviously, with him being an elite alien, he'll very rarely make mistakes. We've got 5 minutes left to go as well, so he's going to be applying as much pressure as he possibly can. And then what Keddy's going to be doing is chasing Line Miller down. The Line Miller, he's got damage on that car. Keddy's going to be closing that gap because it doesn't look like Keddy's got any damage whatsoever. Nachira, he's currently out in front. He's perhaps not within grasp. Second spot is a bit behind, so he's maybe securing himself a victory. He's in none other than the Bentley. I think there's another Bentley, so he's one or two Bentleys on track. The second Bentley itself is sitting in 10th, so in the top 10 we've got two Bentleys, one at the front, one at the back. But it's interesting to see if Keddy himself can close that gap in Line Miller, but Line Miller is actually pulling away from him. He's pulled away nearly a full second, and that's perhaps Com's curse. With maybe Keddy's maybe lost a little bit of his foot. Yeah, so the gap is at the moment it's 3.5 seconds off. But we've got Polito, who's hot on Keddy's heels as well. He's applying the pressure. He's making him feel if he makes one mistake, just one mistake. Oh, there's a beamer just went off there ahead of us. I think that's been a back runner. Car number 242. Oh, that's our new FRL admin, Chris. So he's had a little bit of a mishap there, which is unfortunate. I wonder if he's maybe trying to get his bearings here. No, he's now ported back to the pits. So that's us now got 4 cars in the pits. We're down to 33 cars as well from 37, so we've had some either rage quits or technical difficulties. But with 3 minutes left to go, it looks like we've got a bit of a battle for second and third here. Keddy is going to be pushing as hard as he possibly can as well, and Polito, he is currently being held up just now. He's not been held up, sorry, we've got a couple of back markers in the mix. So Keddy's been held up with the back markers as well. Polito is going to be applying that pressure as much as he possibly can. Yeah, Keddy's went and lost possibly 7/10ths or 6/10ths on Line Miller. So all that hard work put in to try and close the gap, a couple of back markers. It's how racing goes, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. When a back marker's in your way, there's nothing you can do. You've got to be able to pass them in a safe manner. You can't be aggressive. These guys are here on track as well, they're taking part in the race. But if you are faster than them, you go around them. Now we have a stewarding sort of structure that we use when it comes to things like that, so if you're too aggressive and you cause any harm to yourself or the cars around about you, you can be reported, and then we've got a very good stewarding team who then have a look through each incident and kind of go from there. Well, Keddy is getting absolutely annihilated by Polito here. He's definitely keeping him on his toes. The gap's within half a second, so it's all down to reactions when it comes to this type of racing, especially on Oulton Park. Oulton Park's corners, dips, dives, curves, the lot will put your skills to its absolute maximum. And as they come round into Lodge Corner and over Deer Leap into the start finish straight, this is possibly going to be the last lap, and this is where we're going to potentially see Polito trying to make some kind of rash move or show him his nose, try and force the error. Keddy is an extremely well planted driver, so this is going to be very interesting to say the least. We'll just have a quick look and see. Nachira, I don't see him being caught. He's 5 seconds ahead, and then Linemiller himself. I think these guys have secured the top 3 spots. Oh, Keddy's having to defend that corner. I think Polito went on his brakes a little later there to try and force the error, but again, some nice, clean, fast, magnificent, awesome racing by these two. This is the most interesting part of the race, so I'll stick with these two leading into the last part. So as we come down into Knickerbrook, this chicane throws your car right, then left, and then as you go to the top of the hill, you've got to be just off the throttle and then blast it as fast as you possibly can. Down Clay Hill, under the footbridge, Druid's Corner, here we go. It looks like he's created a very, very small gap. And look how planted both cars are. So as they absolutely blitz the last corner, and I think Keddy has secured that 4th place. And what a race that's been. What an absolute magnificent finish to what looks like it's been a bit of a hectic race to start with. And again, I'll apologise. We tried to get the stream up and running from the very, very start, and as far as I was made aware, there was a bit of an incident right at the start of the race. So we had to have a restart. So we'd 37 cars going into turn 1, and I think there's been too much red, so what they call a red flag. So the beauty of being on PC is we can red flag a race, so if things do start a little bit kind of untoward, we can come to a decision fairly quickly and then red flag it and restart it. So well done to Nashira, he's done really well to win that, especially with some of those guys out on track, the aliens out there. Tadima's done well to hold 2nd spot, Linemiller in 3rd, so that rounds off your podium. And Keddy, Polito and Zebroja and your 4, 5 and 6. Rounding off the top 10, Zakaski, Casastrash, Toth. Oh, it's good to see Toth in there, and Giacchetti. Toth does really well actually every time you see him racing. He's just always there, he's always niggling at the kind of front runners, he's always getting himself involved. So that's really good to see. We did have a couple of retirees as well. Unfortunately, what happens is some of these guys will just get to the kind of stage where they've had enough, and they'll retire to the pits or technical issues. So I hope it's been entertaining. I know this being the season 2 round 1 Oulton Park opener for the let's have a wee look. Return to garage. It's for the Pure SimGear GT3 League. So the first season, a short season, came to a very quick end, and I think the popularity was oozing from the whole FRL and on SimGrid. So we've come up with this 2nd season. The calendar's fantastic. We've been at Oulton Park to start it off. So this just goes to show you what kind of technicality and what kind of roster and calendar we've got.
Green light, give it all you got.
But I hope that's been entertaining. I hope you've enjoyed it. The best thing that I can do now is to say adieu and thank you for watching. I will post this up on the stream channel, so you'll have a wee chance to see at least from about 20 odd minutes of the race to the end. Thanks guys, cheers, and a big goodbye from FRL.